Trooper Greeno, can you tell me what that is a photograph of?
Yes, this is the kitchen area. On the kitchen table, there's a red iPhone 13 mini and an Apple iPad. I believe that's the 6 mini.
Ms. Gilman, can you zoom in?
Yeah, iPad 6 mini. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And is there a cover on the phone?
Yes, there's the green cover, and you can see the red at the charging port.
Thank you very much. I'd ask for the next exhibit, that being 647208. Can you tell me what this is a photograph of?
This is the, if you want to call it a dining room or eat-in nook on the table. There's 2 MacBooks and a third inside that manila folder.
Ms. Gilman, I'd ask that you zoom in on this, please.
So,
Trooper Greeno, can you explain that, please?
Yes. So the bottom left, there's a gray MacBook. Next to that is another pinkish MacBook, and inside the manila folder with the charging cable, there's another MacBook inside that.
Thank you. I'd ask for the next exhibit, that being Exhibit 65, 7414. What is this, Trooper?
This is that pinkish MacBook that was inside the manila folder.
That was on the dining room table?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And these are all where you initially found those devices?
That's correct.
Thank you. Looking at the next exhibit, Exhibit 66, 7304. Could I please have that? What is this a photograph of, Trooper?
This is the upstairs master bedroom. On the bed, there's the iPhone SE that's plugged into the wall.
And could you zoom in, please? And is that how you found that device?
That's correct.
Thank you. Looking at Exhibit 7637, could you please show that? What is this a photograph of?
This was an Apple iPad, I believe it was 9th gen version. The crib was over it. We could see it stuck under the crib, so we just pulled it out so it could be photographed better.
What does URL mean?
The URL is the website that the user is on.
And what is the last visited date and time?
That is the last time the user had accessed the website.
And what is UTC?
UTC is a worldwide time code to make it easier when we look at devices. So we would have to minus 5 hours to get to Eastern Standard Time. So if you look here where it says last date and time visited, UTC-0500, that is showing that I've minus the 5 hours.
So the software has done that for us. You've checked off something so the software does that?
Yes, that's correct. Because during the summertime it would be minus 4 hours, so we want to make sure we're in the right time zone.
What is the title?
Title is the name of the website. If you looked at the top of like the web browser bar, that would be the title.
And who created the title of the web page?
That's done automatically through the website.
What is the visit count?
Visit count is how many times the user has visited that website.
What is the visit source?
So the visit source is where the source of the information was pulled from. So this one here says locally browsed. That means it originated on this MacBook.
What is source? Not visit source, just source.
So the source shows the APFS container is the hard drive. And it has a string of numbers and letters, users, B. Walshe, library, Safari. So it's showing where in the database it's pulling this information from.
And that's that. So I can see it says history.db that you had previously told us about.
Yes, so it's going down folder-wise. So the library is the main folder, then it'll go into the Safari folder, and then the history database of Safari.
What is location?
Location, again, is it's the location of the items in that database, where they're located in it.
Specifically within the history DB database or whatever database it is?
That's correct.
What is what is evidence number? I think I skipped over that, sorry.
Yeah, no, the evidence number is just the name of the disk.
Because this is a forensic software.
Yes.
Okay. What is recovery method?
The recovery method is how the information was pulled from the data extraction. So there's two options, parsing or carving. Parsing just pulls the immediate information that the tool sees, where carve goes deeper into the database to try to find stuff to pull the information. It's just different locations and different means of getting the information so I can see it.
What is item ID?
The item ID is the ID number for this whole image we're seeing.
Now, often there are two records with the same time when you go down in the records. Mm-hmm. You'll see the exact same time. Why is that?
So this one here shows parsing. If you scroll down to record 1953, it's the same date and time stamp as the top one. It's just the recovery method is showing carving. So it's gone to a different area of the database and pulled it from a different location.
So does that mean that the search was done twice? But
nope. It's just how Apple has a program to store information.
Okay. Can you give us an analogy about that? Can you explain why that is? Is it like a...
Yeah, so if you think of databases, if you're familiar with like Excel spreadsheets, that's basically all this is. It's different rows and columns of information, and it's where the software is pulling the information from. It's different rows and columns, that's all. Thank you.
So I'd like to look at page 526, record 1952. What is the title?
Best ways to dispose of a body - Google search.
What time and date?
This is done on January 1st, 2023 at 4:52:16 a.m.
And that's Eastern Standard Time?
That's correct.
What is the URL?
I'll just do the beginning part. It shows www.google.com/search with the query equals best plus way plus to dispose of a body, showing the client Safari, and then it has a whole list of letters and numbers and everything else after.
And what does that mean?
Well, it shows that it was done, the search was done through Google, and the query words where it says Q equals best way to dispose of a body, that means that the user input those specific terms and hit enter to create the search to happen.
Okay. So beginning at page 527, if we look at record 1956. See that?
Yes.
Okay. And then if we go to page 533, record 1, to page 533, record
1980.
Let me just check it. $1981.
Okay.
Can you explain what the pages are in the title? Can you tell me the title?
Yes. So the title for this one is 10 Ways to Dispose of a Dead Body, in parentheses, if you really need to. says dash page 6. So that page 6 means they're on the 6th page of the website. So the website will break it down so you're not scrolling a million pages long. So you're usually at the end of the page, you'll see next page, you'll click that and it goes to the next part of the website for the story or however it goes. So that page 6 indicates that they're on the 6th page of the website, and they do this for advertising reasons and, like I said, keeping things short or concise.
So earlier in the records, if we had started at page 527, 1956, that was page 527, 1956, was just regular.
Yes, that's doesn't have a page number, but it looks like it's the opening page to the website for whataculture.com, offbeat 10 ways to dispose of a body.
And then if we went to 528, 1962, what would the title be?
10 ways to dispose of a body, if you really need to, dash page 2, the 2nd page of the article.
Okay. So what does that indicate?
That the user clicked to go to that next page, then showing that also that the visit count is 4, so it's per the user's been there before.
Thank you. Looking at page 534, record 1986. What is the title?
How long before a body starts to smell? Google search.
What time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 4:55:25 a.m.
And what does Google search indicate there to you?
Again, that the user input how long before a body starts to smell and did the actual web search.
Looking at page 547, record 2029. What is the title?
How long for someone to be missing to inheritance? Yahoo search results.
What time and date?
That was on January 1st, 2023 at 6:24:44 a.m.
And what does Yahoo search results indicate?
This was done on a Yahoo search engine.
So you previously explained Google search. Can you explain Yahoo search?
It's the same thing. It's just a different search engine that the user can utilize to search whatever they're looking for.
Looking at page 543, record 2014. Can you tell me what that title is?
It's the same whataculture.com article, 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to, page 7.
And what is the time and date for this?
January 1st, 2023 at 5:47:38 a.m.
So what does this indicate?
Again, a user had physically gone to page 7 of this article on the website.
And is this at a different time than had gone to the article pages 1 through 6 that we previously saw?
Yes, I believe there was a 45 or an hour difference.
And if we go to page 545 and 545 into 546, what page does this article end on?
Record 2023 shows it at page 11. Yeah. Does it go to the following page? Yeah, that's where it ends. Yeah, page 11 at 5:48:22 a.m.
And what is the significance of that, seeing that page 11?
As I said, that the user physically went 11 pages deep into this article.
Looking at page 547, record 2031, what is the title?
How long for someone to be missing to be dead? Yahoo search results.
What time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 6:25:17 a.m.
Looking at page 563, record 2082. What is the title?
The title is Tishman Spire, Washington, D.C. head, Yahoo search results.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 7:44:46 a.m.
And you are familiar with these searches. There are multiple searches about Tishman Spire, is that correct?
That is correct.
And what is the title of the search on page 567, record 2096?
This is Lowe's dash Google search.
And what time and date is that?
January 1st, 2023 at 7:48:04 a.m.
What is the title on page 576, record 2125?
Uh,
2125, 576.
Should be down further.
Sorry, Ms. Gilman, I know I'm asking a lot.
There we go.
Thank you. What is the title?
Title is How Long Does DNA Last? Which is a Google search.
And what is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023 at 9:33:49 a.m.
Trooper, what is...
Object, Judge, in this, from the sidebar first.
Yes.
Page 578.
Yes. If we could please have record 2125 on page 578. And for the record, we're showing a PDF, which is the same version that the printed out version of the exhibit, which the jury will have.
All right.
Thank you. What is the title on page 578, record 2125?
How long does DNA last? Dash Google search.
And what is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023 at 9:33:49 a.m.
And there is a line, redirect URL. What is that?
So if you look at the redirect URL is when you explain this. You're going to a website and you click on it, but it redirects you to a separate, not a separate website, but something similar. So if you look, it says, slate.news, it's an article, but it says, is it possible to clean DNA off a knife? So it's similar search terms, but not exactly what you search. So it's redirecting you to similar items. The website's doing that, I should say. It's not the user doing it.
So the browser is sending you to a suggested website?
That's correct. So I'm sure people have done this. Those who haven't, that when you go to type in something in your phone or your MacBook, it gives you those suggested terms. That's similar to what this is.
Thank you. So if we look at record 2127 on that same page, 578, what is the title?
Sorry, 2127 you said?
Yes, please.
Sorry. Is it possible to clean DNA off a knife? ?
What is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023 at 9:34:39 a.m.
Did the user go directly there, or was the user redirected?
From this, it looks that the user was redirected from the original search term items that they put in.
And did the user stay on that website?
It shows visit count 1. If you can go down just to the next couple, I could tell time difference wise. Down one more. The next search is done approximately a minute later, so it would stand that this website was up for a short amount of time, and then the next search was done.
So what does that mean?
They were there for about a minute, and then the next search comes in at 9:35:52.
Thank you. What is the title on page 579, record 2129?
Can identification be made on partial human remains? Google search.
And what is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023 at 9:35:52 a.m.
What is the title on page 583, record 2141?
How to dispose of a cell phone? Google search.
What time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 9:59:25 a.m.
What is the title on page 584, record 2144?
How to dispose of a computer? Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 9:59:55 a.m.
What is the title on page 589, record 2159?
I am a user on my wife's credit card. She is missing. Can I still use the card? Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 10:29:16 a.m.
What is the title on page 591, record 2166?
My wife is missing. What should I do? Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 10:29:59 a.m.
What is the title on page 592 into 593, record 2170?
Title is Your Spouse is Missing and You Want a Divorce / Hello Divorce.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 10:30:49 a.m.
What is the title on page 596, record 2185?
It's ways to dispose of body parts after murder. Yahoo search results.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023, 11:28:43 a.m.
What is the title on page 597, record 2189?
6 ways to dispose of a body - murder, murder, murder.
And what is the URL?
www.murdermurdermurder.com/blog 2017 522 6 ways to dispose of a body.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 11:28:47 a.m.
What is the title on page 596, record 2193?
Patrick Kearney. Google search.
Did you review that search?
Yes, I did.
Who is Patrick Kearney?
He was named the trash bag killer. He would murder victims and throw their corpses away into trash bags.
What is the time and date?
Objection, Judge.
You want to be heard?
Yes.
Let's see at the second.
'03, record 2207. Can you tell me what the title is?
Cleaning up a dead body / Wired YouTube. So it's a YouTube video.
I was just going to say, what is YouTube?
YouTube is a video website where companies can upload whatever videos they want.
And what time and date is that?
January 1st, 2023 at 11:41:50 a.m.
What is the title on page 605, record 2214?
How to clean blood from a wood floor, Google search.
And what time and date is that?
January 1st, 2023 at 11:44:32 a.m.
And then page 609, record 2229. What is the title?
Can I use bleach to clean my wood floors from blood stains, Google search.
And what is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023 at 11:50:05 a.m.
And what is the title on page 638, record 2321?
You said the title? Yes.
Yes, I'm sorry, the title.
What does bleach do to dead bodies, Google search.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:10:07 p.m.
What is the title on page 647, record 2351?
Want to get away with murder? ? Use special detergent / Discover magazine.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:18:03 p.m.
What is the title on page 650, record 2364?
Is it better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them? Google search.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:21:39 p.m.
What is the title on page 657, record 2386?
How to use hydrogen peroxide on bloodstains, Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:48:14 p.m.
And what is the title directly below that, record 2387?
How to clean bloodstains with hydrogen peroxide - YouTube. Meaning it's a video of those search terms.
And what is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:48:43 p.m.
What is the title on page 659, record 2394?
Should I use hydrogen peroxide 8 on bloodstains in concrete? Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 12:53:44 p.m.
What is the title on page 665, record 2413?
Can the FBI tell when you accessed your phone? Google search.
What time and date?
January 1st, 2023 at 1:43:02 p.m.
What is the title on page 670, record 2430?
Does the dishwasher clean blood? Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023 at 1:52:26 p.m.
What is the title on page 671, record 2433?
Is it possible that a knife which had blood on it remains contaminated with HIV after it has been washed with hot water and dishwasher soap, Quora?
What is the date and time?
January 1st, 2023, 1:52:57 p.m.
What is the title on page 693, record 2502?
How to remove a SIM card from an iPhone, Yahoo search.
What time and date?
January 2nd, 2023 at 2 o'clock in the morning, a.m.
And what follows that search, record 2503?
The Apple support website, remove or switch the SIM card in your iPhone - Apple support.
And what is the date and time for that?
January 2nd, 2023, 2 a.m. in 15 seconds.
What is the title on page 694, record 2507?
How to remove a hard drive from an Apple laptop - Yahoo search results.
And what is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 2:01:19 a.m.
What is the title on page 699, record 2524?
TJ Maxx near me, Norwell - Yahoo search results.
What is the time and date?
January 2nd, 2023, 5:24:08 a.m.
What is the title on page 717, record 2580?
How long do stores keep security footage - Google search.
What is the time and date?
January 2nd, 2023, 10:32:43 a.m.
What is the title on page 724 into 725, record 2608?
How to saw a body - Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:27:31 p.m.
What is the title on page 725, record 2610?
How to dismember a body - Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:27:43 p.m.
What is the title on page 730, record 2626?
Hacksaw, the best tool for dismembering a body - Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:33:48 p.m.
What is the title on page 733, record 2633?
Details of dismemberment discussed in murder trial / Wayne 15.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:42:59 p.m.
What is the title on page 735, record 2638?
Can you be charged with murder without a body - Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:47:01 p.m.
What is the title on page 738, record 2647?
Murder conviction without a body - Wikipedia.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:47:10 p.m.
What is the title on page 738, record 2649?
No corpse, question mark, no problem. Notable murder convictions without a body, -A&E true crime.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 12:51:47 p.m.
What is the title on page 745, record 2670?
Right
record
there.
2670.
It actually starts on 744, just so the record's clear.
Thank you very much.
Can you identify a body with broken teeth? Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 1:12:46 p.m.
What is the title on page 746 into 747, record 2674?
Disposing of a body in the trash. Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 1:14:51 p.m.
What is the title on page 769, record 2747?
Chatham West Apartments Rentals, Brockton, MA, Zillow.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 1:34:35 p.m.
What is the title on page 777, record 2768?
The Claremont Apartments Rentals, Abington, Mass, Zillow.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 1:36:14 p.m.
What is the title on page 787, record 2798?
What powder mass smells the best? Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 2:51:28 p.m.
What is the title on page 797, record 2830?
Can I mix white vinegar to stop smells? Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 2nd, 2023, 7:09:03 p.m.
What is the title on page 798, record 2832?
Can baking soda make a dead body smell good? Google search.
What is the date and time?
January 3rd, 1:15:55 a.m.
What is the title on page 807, record 2856?
Cleaning up blood without leaving a trace, 5 tips, aftermath services.
What date and time?
January 3rd, 2023, 5:03:06 a.m.
What is the title on page 819, record 2900?
Are footprints easy to wash away? Google search.
What date and time?
January 3rd, 2023, 6:55:58 a.m.
What is the title on page 858, record 3025?
How long for a dismembered body to decompose? Yahoo search results.
What date and time?
January 3rd, 2023, 1:02:23 p.m.
What is the title on page 860, record 3033?
Body found at trash station. Yahoo search results.
What date and time?
January 3rd, 2023, 1:05:50 p.m.
What is the title on page 866, record 3056?
Can a body decompose in a plastic bag? Yahoo search results.
What date and time?
January 3rd, 2023, 1:12:50 p.m.
What is the title of page 888, record 3127?
Can police get your search history without your computer? Google search.
What date and time?
January 3rd, 2023, 7:38 p.m.
What is the title on page 904, record 3184?
Does a cell phone track your historical location? Yahoo search results.
And what is the date and time?
January 4th, 2023, 8:55:27 a.m.
Are there any searches from January 4th at 8:03 p.m. to January 7th at 3:58 p.m.?
I don't believe so. From the MacBook on?
On the MacBook, from January 4th at 8:03 p.m., January 4th to January 7th at 3:58 p.m.
Well, this last search was done at 8:55, so wouldn't it be 8:03?
Okay, so from 8:55 p.m.
I don't believe so. I'd have to see.
May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Just see that there's more pages. I forget the exact dates. Thank you. Just want to double check. Thank you. There's not.
And then starting at January 7th at 3:58 p.m., what is the first search?
That's listed here. It says Chase credit card login, Google search.
And can you give us a page and a record number?
Yes. In the book, page 906, record number 3195.
Thank you. So did you look at any searches prior to January 1st?
Yes.
And I'd like to start with page 521. Looking at page 521, Ms. Gilman. Looking at 521, record 1938. I'm sorry, 1939, please. Trooper, can you tell me what time this occurred?
Yes. It says January 1st, 2023 at 3:49:39 a.m.
And can you tell me what's happening in this record number?
It shows the URL for accounts.google.com for it's like the Gmail, a login through the web.
And going to 1940, record 1940 on the next page, that being 522, does that continue?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And going to page 524, does that continue until record 1947?
Yes, it does.
And what date and time does that end?
The last one shows January 1st, 2023, 3:50:06 a.m. And then the following is about an hour later.
Thank you. Now looking at page 225 into 226, record 825. Can you tell me the title being looked at?
Yep. It says cheating wife seduces another man to impregnate her. Scarlet Scandal, Seth Gamble, Erotica X-Pornhub.com.
And what is the date and time?
12/27/2022, 12:06:28 a.m.
And this continues on record 8/26, is that correct?
Yes, it's a duplicate from the previous.
Okay. And 8/27, could you go down, Ms. Gilman? Could you go down, please?
It's there. It's the titles on the, right there at the top.
Okay. If you could keep going down, though, please. Okay. And if you could tell me, if you could keep going down, I'm sorry, to 8/28. And what is this?
It says chat with Miss_B in a live adult video chat room now.
And what time is that?
12:06:28 a.m. on January 27th, December 27th, 2022.
Okay. And if this continues until record 8/31, if you could go to 8/31, please, Ms. Gilman? Is that correct with Pornhub, Trooper?
Yes, it's there for about 7 or so minutes.
Thank you. And page 241 to 242, record 891. What is that title, please?
Best divorce strategies for men, Yahoo search results.
And what is the date?
December 27th, 2022, 8:33:53 p.m.
And page 253, record 935. What is the title, please?
Best date to divorce for a man, Google search.
And what is the date and time?
December 27th, 2022, 8:51:33 p.m.
And page 256, record 934. What is the title?
It's at 9:34 or 9:43.
943, I'm sorry.
Five best and 5 worst states to get divorced in the U.S.
And what is the date and time?
December 27th, 2022, 8:52 p.m. 8:52:39 p.m.
Thank you. Page 257, record 945. What is the title?
Washington, D.C. divorce laws, Google search.
And what is the date and time?
December 27th, 2022, 8:54:13 p.m.
And you have the binder exhibit in front of you, but if you look between records 891 and 934, what does the Safari history show to you between those record numbers, 891 and 934? What topic articles are being looked at?
I'm sorry, what number is this one we're on? The divorce laws, if you scroll up?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
This is 945.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If we look at record numbers 891 through 934.
They're all showing websites regarding divorce advice, mistakes in divorce, using verbal abuse, don't split up like this, the 10 stupidest mistakes men make facing divorce. It's all divorce related.
Thank you. So if we look at page 259, record 951. What is the title being looked at?
Can you scroll down a little more? There. Oh, if you scroll back up, I'll just read it from the URL. So it's a Google search for Chase login credit card, and then it does a redirect to the Chase that does it again. It's duplicated.
Okay. And what is the date and time?
December 27th, 2022 at 8:57:13 p.m.
Okay. And this goes on to record 1026 on page 279 if you look in the binder. Is that correct?
Yes, showing all Chase account information, the Chase website for the account. Yeah.
Trooper, if you look at page 508, record 1890.
Okay.
What is the title?
Replay poker - Google search.
And what is the date and the time?
12/31/2022, 6:53 p.m.
You've said it a couple of times now. It's limited to 12/25/22 through January 8th, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's the data you're talking to them about, correct?
Yes, I only viewed that information.
You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that you have the entire contents of the map, don't you?
I do have the contents.
And how far in date does the content go back on the MacBook?
I have no idea. I didn't look.
Because you limited your warrant to 12/25/22.
That's correct.
So if you thought, as an officer involved in an investigation, that there might be some important information that predates 12/25/22, you have every right, and there's a procedure for you to go back to the court and explain to the court why you think there might be more information back before 12/25, and see if you could get a warrant to cover that earlier information.
If I had information showing that there was more, then I could, yes.
Okay, and you never did.
I don't believe I had any other information showing that I needed to.
And you didn't have any information that you thought it would be important to your investigation to go back before December 25th, did you?
For my role, that's correct.
Okay. So, when we heard about, for instance, this Pornhub search that occurred on 12/27, remember that?
Yes, sir.
And we heard about some other Pornhub reviews, like Chattergate, correct?
That's correct.
And something about Miss Bell, correct?
About what?
Miss Bell?
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
I'm sorry, Miss B.
I still don't remember, but okay.
Okay. Do you remember seeing record 831? Do you have? I apologize.
I don't have that book up here to see it.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you remember seeing also a reference in the very same data that you've told this jury about that talked about a movie called, or something called, Slade, Dominant, Scarlet?
I would have to see it, but could I double check it?
Well, this pedestal doesn't work quite right.
I have my copy. If you want to just tell me the page, I can look. If that's
You know,
okay.
I do apologize. I'm going to give you the page in just a second.
Okay.
I don't know
What,
why.
832?
Thank you, Judge.
Sure.
What was it? I'm sorry.
832.
Oh, record 832, I'm
Record
sorry. I thought you said
832. It's
832.
on page 227.
Thank you. All right. All right, I'm there. And, yep.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Sure.
So now I want to focus your attention to record 831
Yes.
on page 226. Do you have that?
I do, sir. Thank you.
And it references something called Slade Dominant Scarlet Straps Cecilia. Right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you didn't testify about that to the jury, did you? Today, on direct examination.
No, I wasn't asked.
Morning. You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that when you look at these searches involving Pornhub, that in fact, there's a number of, and I keep referring to them as searches, but let me just ask this. There's a number of web pages that refer to what I'm going to characterize as pornography, correct?
It's about 10.
Right. And am I right to say that cheating wife reference, what's the entire title of the cheating wife reference?
Cheating wife seduces another man to impregnate her. Scarlet Scandal, Seth Gamble, Erotica X, Pornhub.com.
Do you have any idea how that particular porn movement, whatever it is, do you know how it came about?
The only thing I say is that Pornhub was viewed and that video was selected.
Okay. You would agree with me, wouldn't you, that there is no specific search term for cheating wife, is there?
Well, it wasn't in a Google search. It was through Pornhub, so it doesn't record that.
Okay, so your answer is, I agree with you, or yes.
That there's no specific terms listed? That is correct. The video was there. Clicked on.
Because you've already told this jury, and they saw it in a number of examples, that when the user enters a particular search term, the user, that it's a particular word, and then there's generally a plus sign that attaches it to the next search term, correct?
Only in the Google search engine.
Okay. And with regards to this movie Cheating Wife, there is no indication that the term cheating or the term wife or anything else was used to get to that movie.
As I said, I can't view any terms that were put into Pornhub, so it only shows me that search query in Google.
And let me ask you this. In part of your investigation, did you ever go and view some of that movie?
No, I did not.
Okay. But you did testify that there were times, like for other searches, you went and followed the document and the links, and you reviewed the document.
That's correct.
But with regards to this movie, you have no idea what this movie is about, correct?
That's correct.
And you don't know, then, prior to December 25th of 2022, how many times, whoever was looking at the MacBook, how many times they frequented porn movies at Pornhub, do you?
I didn't look at any data prior to December 25th.
Okay. And you don't know how long this person that was looking at this movie, how long they viewed the movie, or if they viewed it at all.
I do. It shows me a time frame of 7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes. And how long is the movie?
I have no idea.
So someone started watching that movie, they watched it for 7 minutes, and that was the end of it. Is that your testimony?
That's correct. And then I went to that Slade Dominant Scarlet video.
Okay, and that Slay Scarlet, do you recognize the fact that there is some actress referred to with regards to the cheating wife name that's also named Scarlet?
That's correct.
So it's fair to say, isn't it, that you have no idea, as you sit here today, whether the person who is looking at this porn hub video, if they're trying to get access to movies that have perhaps their favorite actress or anything else of the sort, do you?
I don't know who this person is, so I have no idea.
So your answer is no.
That's correct. I don't know.
And quite frankly, Trooper, isn't it fair to say that when you open up some website like Pornhub, it comes open and it has all of these possible selections you can make?
I don't know. I'm not a peruser of Pornhub, but sure it has options.
Okay. So you have no idea what options were presented to the person that opened up this page, do you?
No, I don't.
But yet, it was important enough to include it in the data that you put into that binder?
With the information that we knew, yes.
Okay. And that information, let's just cut to the chase here, is because of the word cheating wife, isn't it?
That's correct, sir.
Okay, so just the fact that there was a phrase involving cheating wife, that to you was something that, okay, let's just include that in all this data and throw it out. Correct?
No.
Okay. So you didn't take the time to look to see what the movie was about. I understand that, correct?
That's correct.
You didn't take the time to see if the actor, in the other movie, Slay, Dominant, whatever, was the same actress in the other movie, right?
That's correct.
So you really just said, oh, I see the phrase cheating wife, and so I think that's important, so I'll include it in my data.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. It's a time frame.
I'll see you at the sidebar, side of the bench.
So, first, my apologies, because I'm afraid that my question is misleading in short. Go back. This binder that has been marked as an exhibit contains the entire contents of what you found on the MacBook between the dates of 12/25/22 and January 8th of 2023.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. So when I suggested in my question that you, sir, selected certain things, that is completely wrong, isn't it?
That's correct.
Okay. And so I should have used this word. You would agree that you were focused on, by the question, you were focused on the title cheating wife, correct?
Yes, I was asked that in direct.
Okay. Oh. But you were never focused on direct examination as to the other porn movie, the Slay Dominant or whatever the title is. Right?
That's correct.
And since you decided not to go back prior to December 25th of 2022, you really can't tell this jury how many times and how many different movies were viewed on this MacBook porn.
It's not entirely true.
Because of the 12 visits?
That's correct. So I could look at visits and it could tell me Pornhub was visited. I'm just trying to look here to see how many times. And then it would also tell me, the video would also tell me how many visits. But I'm not sure if that's the entirety of the Spire history or just what I've collected.
Right. You're not sure if it's the entirety of what? Finish that sentence.
The web history that's in the device, yes.
So you just don't know.
That's correct. I didn't go back.
And
Yes, these are the text messages that I provided law enforcement.
Thank you. And who are these text messages with?
They're between Anna Walshe and myself.
I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Subject to the prior objections. Any new objections?
No, Your Honor.
The text message packet How many pages is it? Well, I'll have somebody count that.
43 pages.
43 pages. 43 pages of text messages between Anna Walsh and William Fastow are now in evidence as Exhibit 145.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, if I might again approach the witness and stand there for one moment.
You may.
Mr. Fastow, this is a printout that you gave, correct?
Yes.
And if you could just tell us who's in the blue and who's in the gray?
Anna Walsh is in the gray. My messages are in the blue.
Thank you. And in the course of this, you and Anna text some pictures as well. Is that right?
That's correct.
And going to page 40.
Yes.
What is that a picture of?
That's a toothbrush that Anna had given me that she had left at my house, and I had packed it to bring with me to Idaho.
And what does that toothbrush say on it?
It says Cohasset Dental.
And sir, these text messages also discuss intimacy. Is that right?
Yes, I believe so.
And your trip to Dublin?
Yes.
And you also received a photograph, which is in that. Well, you received several other photographs, which are in those text messages from Anna, and one of them is on. Apologize, Your Honor. One of them is with her son, is that right?
One of the pictures?
Yes.
Yes.
And she sent you that, and it says Anna and her son. Is that correct?
Yes.
And she's showing you something that he made her. Is that right?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
May I approach Your Honor?
You may.
And is this that photo?
Yes.
And is that the next she's trying to show you?
Yes.
I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Objection, Your Honor.
That will be marked, the photo will be marked and admitted as Exhibit 146.
Thank you. And Your Honor, this is blurred per the court's instructions.
Yes, so can I just see it quickly? All right, so can I see counsel at the side of the bench? Walsh's face is blurred out. It wasn't that way in the original, but it's relevant to your decision making. So that's why I've instructed that it be blurred. All right? Thank you.
That now be published for the jury.
You may publish it.
Thank you. Did she also send you a photo on New Year's Eve as well?
She did.
I know. Okay. May I approach?
You may.
I ask if you recognize this photograph.
Yes.
And what is this a photograph of?
This is a picture of Anna, our mutual friend Jen Mutlow, and one of her children.
I ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
The photo of Anna Walsh, Jen Mutlow, and the minor child are now in evidence as Exhibit 147.
Your Honor, this photograph is not redacted of the child, so I'm not going to publish it at this time.
Okay.
Exhibit 147. When did you plan to return from Idaho?
I was scheduled and I left on January 3rd.
And when did you return from Idaho?
I believe I came back very early the morning of January 4th. I think it was probably right around like midnight or 1 or 2 a.m.
And did you have plans to celebrate New Year's with Anna?
I did.
And when did you make those plans?
When I was in Idaho and she was in Cohasset.
And what were your plans for? When were your plans for?
Our plans were to have dinner on January 4th to celebrate New Year's and discuss our 1, 3, 5, and 10-year plans.
And what had you and Anna discussed about your future together?
We'd had a number of conversations about what a life together might look like, what merging two families would look like, how that might work. But I had always said to Anna that she needed to figure out how she wanted things to be with Brian and what she wanted to look like for her life before, we could make any sort of commitments or decisions.
And did you have dinner reservations for January 4th?
I did.
Did you have dinner on January 4th?
I did not.
What was the last contact that you had with Anna Walsh?
I received a text message from Anna. It was a Happy New Year's message right around the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, East Coast time.
Did you respond to her?
I believe I did.
And then did you send her anything?
The following day, I had sent her a photo of me showing one of my children how to ski. I had sent her, I think, a waving hand emoji. I think I'd sent a question mark query and then a couple of other texts over the next day or two that went that were not responded to.
Did you try calling her?
I did.
When was that?
I believe I tried calling her on January 2nd, and it went straight to voicemail. I tried that a couple times, and then I called her from a landline, thinking that she may have blocked my cell phone.
Did she ever answer you?
She did not.
Were you concerned?
I was.
Did you have any contact with Brian Walsh after you sold the townhouse to Anna?
I may have had a call or two with him discussing the townhouse. I don't really recall. It would have been dealing with property matters. And then he called me on January 4th.
And did you answer that call?
I did not.
What did you do?
I pushed the call to my voicemail.
Why'd you do that?
I was in an intimate relationship with his wife. I had not heard from her in several days, and frankly, I was concerned that maybe he had found out and was calling to confront me.
Did he leave you a voicemail?
No.
Did you call him back?
I did not, but he called me a few hours later again.
When was that?
A few hours after the initial call, so maybe mid-morning, noonish. I couldn't tell exactly.
And did you answer that second call?
No, I pushed that to voicemail as well.
Did Brian Walsh leave you a voicemail?
The second time he did.
And did you provide that voicemail to law enforcement?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the voicemail be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
The voicemail message from Brian Walsh to William Fastow is now in evidence as Exhibit 148.
Exhibit 148. I'd ask Ms. Gilman to play that now.
Good afternoon, William. It's Brian Walsh. I hope all is going well. I was just reaching out to basically everybody I could. Anna hasn't been in touch for a few days. I spoke to work today. She hasn't been in. They went to the house and she wasn't there, or it was like she's been there recently. So just wondering if you've spoken to her in the near, recently, like Sunday or the last 2 days. If so, let me know, or if you know anyone that might have that contact with her, calling everyone. So sorry to bother you. Sure, everything's fine, and you can reach me at 617-939-8646. Thanks.
What did you do after receiving that voicemail, sir?
I immediately called Brian back.
And what happened when you called Brian back?
I told him that I was concerned. We had discussed that Anna had been missing since New Year's Day, and I was actually driving at the time that I made the call. I told him that I was nearby the house and that I could stop by the house and check to see if she was there, if that would be beneficial.
And what did you did you do that?
I did.
And how did you get into the house?
Brian provided me the garage code. I opened the garage and entered the garage bay underneath the house.
And was there a car in the garage?
There was not.
Was there usually a car in the garage?
Anna usually parked in the garage, yes.
And did Anna have a car?
Yes.
Do you know what kind?
I believe it was a Volkswagen Taos.
Did she have one car, two cars, if you know?
Just one car that I know of.
Do you know, did you look inside the house?
I checked the door leading from the garage to the house. That door was locked, so I couldn't enter the house.
Did you notice any damage to the house?
I did not.
And what did you do after going to the house?
I called Brian, let him know that there was no sign that she was there, that her car wasn't there. It didn't look like anyone had been home. And then I actually came back later that evening and checked the garage again in the hopes that she might have shown up.
And did you see anything at that time?
No, it was the same.
Your Honor, I approach.
You may.
Do you recognize that necklace?
Yes.
What is that?
It is it's a Gucci pendant necklace that Anna wore frequently.
Thank you. I'd ask that this be the next exhibit.
Any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Do you also recognize...
Marked and admitted as Exhibit 149.
Sorry, Your Honor. Do you recognize anything else in the photograph?
She's wearing a Cartier watch, which was her primary timepiece. And I believe it's hard to tell with the resolution of the photo, but it looks like she's wearing her engagement ring.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, I'd ask that this be published to the jury. Again, this has been blurred at...
You may, and you can publish it electronically, and you can do it the old-fashioned way also.
I'd ask to do it the more modern way.
All right. Go right ahead,
Thank you.
as you wish.
Thank you. You had said that you had communicated with her after New Year's Eve. Did you only text her, or did you also communicate through Instagram or other platforms?
I tried to call her through using the cell phone, the landline in Idaho. I sent her text messages, and I probably messaged her through Instagram, but I don't recall.
No, I'm sorry. I'm specifically referring to when you texted her like Happy New Year at New Year's at midnight. Was that on text message, through Instagram, or something else, if you remember?
It would have been text message or Instagram.
Okay. Thank you. And have you seen Anna Walshe since December 25th of 2022?
I have not.
Thank you, Mr. Fastow.
Cross-exam.
Good morning.
Doctor, you recognize this image?
Yes.
Is that an image of the bag of rugs that you had the opportunity to examine at OCME?
Yes, it is.
The Commonwealth would seek to mark this as the next exhibit, Your Honor, which is file number P10900001. No objection.
The next image, P109000, is that what you said?
0001.
0001 is now in evidence as Exhibit 181. Thank you. And jurors, we had a change in staff over the weekend and for the rest of the trial. Ms. Blankenship is going to be the court reporter. I know you can only see the back of the person, but welcome.
And Your Honor, may the Commonwealth publish.
Pardon me?
May the Commonwealth publish the exhibit.
You sure can.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, can we have file number P10900001? So, Doctor, directing your attention to the image on the screen, what is the significance of the 230493 at the bottom?
That is the OCME case number. So 23 was the year, 2023, and then that was the number of cases we'd had up to that point.
And so, doctor, your numbers, are they the same as the crime lab numbers?
No.
Okay. And if we could take that down, thank you. And could we have what was marked as Exhibit 180 from Friday? And for the record, this is file number PC 110198. Doctor, directing your attention to the screen for Exhibit 180, what were the observations you were able to make of this piece of carpet?
This piece of carpet has a large area of red-brown stain on it, and in the middle of this stain was an approximately 1/4 inch long, what looked to be a blood clot.
Could you take that down, Ms. Gilman? Thank you. So, doctor, what is a blood clot?
A blood clot is just blood that has solidified or clotted.
And how were you able to make the determination it looked like a blood clot? What was it that about it that gave you that indication?
It's the correct color, shape, consistency of a blood clot. I've seen thousands of them.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
Thank you. Doctor, do you recognize this image?
Yes.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of a close-up of the blood clot from that section of carpet?
Yes.
The Commonwealth would seek to have this marked as the next exhibit, Your Honor, which is PC 110197.
No objection.
Photo PC 110197 is now in evidence as Exhibit 182. Thank you.
Your Honor, may the Commonwealth publish 182?
You may.
Thank you. Ms. Gilman, could we have PC 110197? So, doctor, that's the close-up of the blood clot that you identified?
Yes.
What did you do with that blood clot?
I saved that blood clot in a jar for possible future DNA analysis.
Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down. How do you save it in a jar, sir?
You place it into a plastic jar, and then we, I believe, freeze that jar afterward.
Now, next two. Your Honor, if I may approach?
You may.
Thank you. Doctor, I'm showing you two images at this point in time. Are those fair and accurate depictions of the next section of carpet you had the opportunity to analyze or look at that day at OCME?
Yes, this was the largest piece.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would seek to enter the next two photographs as exhibits.
What are the...
File numbers?
Yes?
The first would be PC 110204, and the second would be PC 110217.
No objection.
Those two photos now identified by the Commonwealth by their P number are in evidence as 184 and 185.
That's what I have.
Thank you for the correction, 183 and 184.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth may publish these next two exhibits.
You may.
Ms. Gilman, can we have what's now been marked as Exhibit 183, which is PC 110204? Doctor, directing your attention to what's been marked as Exhibit 183, what observations did you make of this carpet while it was being unrolled?
I observed the same types of red-brown stains on the carpet. There were also more areas of clotted blood, and there were also areas with white, clumpy, powdery tissue, not tissue, sorry, substance. Some of it was discolored from the fluid that was on it.
And Ms. Gilman, can we have Exhibit 184, which is PC 110217? So close. And doctor, is this the same section of carpet?
Yes.
And now, doctor, on this section, were you still able to observe the red-brown staining and the white substance?
Yes.
In addition to making these observations of the white substance, did you identify anything as far as potential hairs?
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down. Your Honor, can I approach?
Yes.
Doctor, you recognize this image?
Yes,
Is that a collection of hairs that you saw on that section of carpet?
it is.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would seek to enter PC 110243 as the next exhibit.
It's in evidence now as 185, 110243.
And Your Honor, the court petition may Commonwealth publish exhibit 185.
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, could we have PC 110243? Doctor, directing your attention to exhibit 185, what did you do with this collection of hairs?
I collected all the hairs that I could find on the piece of carpet, and including this clump, and I put them in an envelope, an evidence envelope, and sealed it and signed it.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down. Now, Doctor, besides making observations of the section of carpet as far as what you saw on it, did you have the opportunity to go through that material and find any objects in it?
Yes.
Your Honor, can I approach?
Yes.
Doctor, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
Is that a close-up of the section of carpet with a hand holding a ruler that you had the opportunity to examine OCME?
Yes.
The Commonwealth would seek to mark this as the next exhibit, Your Honor, which is PC 110208.
No objection.
Photo with that ID is now in evidence as 186.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, the Commonwealth publish exhibit 186.
Yes.
Ms. Gilman, could we have PC 110208? So, Doctor, directing your attention to this image, whose hand is that?
That is my hand with a glove.
And what is the ruler next to?
Just above the ruler, you can see a metal item that has a loop on one side. It appeared to me to be some sort of jewelry charm without a chain attached.
And, Doctor, around that area, is that white substance, is that what you were talking about as the white powdery substance? And I don't want to misstate you if it's not powdery, but what is that? Was that what you saw that day?
Yes, almost all of these clumps are that same powdery, clumpy substance. Some of them look red and brown and tan, probably because of the liquid that made them clump.
Ms. Gilman, if you could take that down. Thank you. Doctor, what did you do with that piece of metal that you found?
I photographed it, and I also placed it into an envelope and saved it for evidence.
May I approach you, Honor?
You may.
Doctor, do you recognize this image?
Yes, I do.
Is that a picture of the piece of metal that you photographed by an envelope?
Yes.
The Commonwealth would seek to have image file number PC 110245 as the next exhibit, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection.
110245, that image is in evidence as 187.
With the court's permission, Your Honor, may the Commonwealth publish 187?
You may.
Ms. Gilman, can we have PC 110245? Thank you. So, Doctor, is this the photographing of the piece of metal that you spoke of?
Yes.
And that envelope, is that the envelope you put it into that's in the photograph?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes?
Doctor, there's gloves beneath you. You can put those on. Doctor, I'm handing you a glassine envelope. I'm going to ask, do you recognize the envelope that's inside the glassine envelope?
Yes.
And did you have the opportunity to look inside that paper envelope this morning?
Yes, I did.
Is that the same paper envelope that you put the piece of metal in at the OCME?
Yes.
And the yellow sticker on the exterior of the envelope, what is that number on it?
That's the same OCME number. That was the number of this case.
And on the front of it, do you recognize the writing on the front?
Yes.
And how do you recognize that?
That is my handwriting describing what this was.
And can you look inside the envelope and then ask to recognize the object? Do you recognize the object, sir?
Yes, I do.
Is that the piece of metal that you found in the rug while you were doing your examination at OCME?
Yes.
If you could hold on to it for one moment.
Sure.
Your Honor, the Commonwealth would seek to have the glassine envelope that has the paper envelope and the piece of metal inside the paper envelope as the next exhibit.
Any objection?
No objection.
It's now in evidence as 188.
Thank you, Doctor. You can put it back inside. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Doctor, did you recognize any writing on Exhibit 188, the piece of metal? Anything that was pressed into it?
Yes, there was an engraving of Gucci on one side.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes?
Doctor, do you recognize that image?
Yes, I do.
What is that an image of?
This is the plastic container that I saved a large amount of this clumped substance and also all of the blood clots that I found.
Commonwealth would seek to have this marked as the next exhibit, which is file number PC 110222.
Any objection?
No objection.
PC 110222 is now in evidence as Exhibit 189.
Your Honor, may the Commonwealth publish Exhibit 189?
Yes?
Ms. Gilman, could we have PC 110222? So, Doctor, this container, what did you do with this container?
I put a lid on this container and then we put it in a freezer.
And why do you put it in a freezer?
For DNA analysis, that's the preferred method of preserving the tissue.
And Ms. Gilman, if you could close out of that. Doctor, did you take any other samples that day while you were making your examination of the rugs?
Yes, I did.
What did you take for samples?
I saw in I painstakingly mushed through a lot of this crumbly substance. And there was one area near one of the blood clots that appeared to have some specks of something that could possibly be tissue. The clumped areas appeared to be tissue at first, or possibly tissue, but upon further inspection, it was obvious that none of this clumped powdery material was actually any kind of tissue. But this one area had very small specks of something that I thought might not be the same type of powder. So I put this area, I saved that for looking at under the microscope.
And how do you do that, sir?
How do you save it? Or
Yes, please.
you put it into a cassette.
And do you have to add anything to the substance to put it in the cassette?
No, but you put the cassettes into formalin. It's like formaldehyde that preserves the tissue.
What happens, and now, you did that with the tiny specks. Did you do that with any other items that day? Make formalin, put things into formalin?
No, I saved the blood clots mainly for DNA testing.
Your Honor, for the record, the defendant's present in the courtroom.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, at the close of yesterday's day, the defense raised with me what I have listed as 5 separate issues that it wanted to alert the court to with regard to the expected testimony of Mr. Walsh today. As an initial matter, does the defense still intend to call Mr. Walsh today?
We do not.
You do not? All right. Does that moot every issue that I researched last night?
I apologize, Judge.
No, I just want to make sure that the 5 issues that you raised and the issue with regard to the plea are no longer on the table. All right. I will conduct a colloquy with the defendant then now, and my intention is the defense intend to call any other witnesses.
We are not.
All right, then we'll close tomorrow. We'll do the charge conference immediately after the rest of the day. Let me just put in the record, so the record is complete. The Commonwealth previously, and I ruled on this at the side of the bench previously, the Commonwealth previously asked this court to exclude the defendant's plea of guilty, and I guess the only way that would come in at this point is if he were testifying. But I just want to put in, to the extent that I previously disallowed the defendant to go there with any other witness, and I frankly don't recall if I have previously, I want to put in the reason why I excluded that testimony now. The Commonwealth did file a motion in limine to exclude evidence that the defendant pled guilty to misleading the police into Anna Walsh's disappearance and improper disposal of her body. After consideration, I allowed and still am allowing the Commonwealth's motion for 2 reasons. First, the defendant has failed to show how such evidence is relevant to the remaining charge of murder. And I specifically acknowledge that I read this morning the defense's motion to admit the evidence of his guilty plea, which has been docketed as 216. That was filed on December 11th, 2025, this morning, I believe. I have read it, but it doesn't do anything more than to set forth the elements of the crimes of murder. Based on defense counsel's opening statement, it appeared that the defendant was going to testify in this trial. And at that time, he could have made reference to his plea if I so allowed him to. But whether or not he is charged or pled guilty to such actions relating to his prior plea of guilty before this court is irrelevant to whether he murdered his wife. Second, the inclusion of the evidence of the defendant's guilty plea on the 2 charges would risk the introduction of extraneous factors as part of the jury's consideration on the murder charge. As explained by the SJC in Commonwealth versus A Juvenile, 396 Mass 108, 112, it's well established that a jury's verdict must be based solely on the evidence in the case without regard to the possible consequences of their decision. And there's a specific instruction in my draft jury instructions that addresses this. Continuing with this case, the role of the jury is to make findings of fact and determine the guilt or innocence of the accused without regard to probable punishment. To inform jurors of a sentencing consequence of their verdicts is to invite a results-oriented verdict and possible deviation from the basic issues of the defendant's guilt or innocence. I also cite to Commonwealth versus Sanchez, 70 Mass Appellate Court, 699-701, 2007. While the defendant here is not seeking to enter evidence of the possible consequences of a guilty verdict on the murder charge, the rationale behind the holding in a juvenile applies with equal force. If the defense was permitted to tell the jury that he pled guilty to the two lesser charges, there is a risk, substantial risk, that the jurors will consider the defendant's impending punishment on those charges when determining his guilt on the remaining murder charge. Indeed, the defendant has not offered any other rationale for the entrance of such evidence. And as was stated in Commonwealth versus Ferreira, 373 Mass 116-124, 1977 case, the jury's function is not to weigh possible verdicts with an eye towards dispensing mercy in certain cases or imposing heavier penalties in others. Rather, the jury's function is solely one of fact-finding with respect to the legal standards regarding innocence or guilt. Accordingly, the defendant is not permitted and has not been permitted to put evidence before the jury of his prior guilty pleas in this matter. And Madam Clerk alerted me to also file this morning 321, pause, the Commonwealth supplemental motion to eliminate to exclude evidence of the November 2025 guilty plea, which I will concede I did not read because I just got it when I stepped on the bench, but I'm not sure it makes a difference in light of my ruling.
Moot at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, is 216 something you filed earlier? Why does it have this number?
No, that's my error, Judge. That's my error. I corrected it on the original. It should be 318. It's my poor vision.
Okay. So just so the record's clear, when I said a moment ago I did review what the defendant filed this morning. It's just not 216, it's 318. All right. On the docket. All right, I see that I have two other pleadings up here, which I will address in brief. One of them I was going to address anyway, in substance, maybe not exactly as it's presented. Those are items number 319 and 320. Let me talk about 319. I haven't read it either. It's a motion to prevent the Commonwealth from basically, I believe, an Attorney Tipton, you can, or Porges, you can illuminate me greater, but you don't want them saying he promised you something in the opening statement that he didn't deliver.
That's right, and after consulting with the Commonwealth this morning, they have no intention, they've told us they have no intention of doing that.
So I have already pulled out some case law on this and where the boundaries are, and I was going to give it to you in charge conference anyway to make sure that you were aware where the boundaries are. The SJC has spoken on this issue of what's permissible and what isn't. The Commonwealth is allowed to get into it a little bit. I will alert you to those cases, and that's where I intend to draw the line as to what's permissible. I probably have them on my bench right now, but I couldn't tell you where they are. But when we get to the charge conference, I'll give those to you so you both have the benefit of my research on that issue. The other motion, 320, is I expect the defense will renew after I bring in the jury, ask you if you're going to present any evidence, and you will rest. And I'll hear you at the side of the bench with regard to that. So now, I do want to conduct the colloquy with the defendant at this point.
Would you like him sworn, Your Honor?
Hold on a second, because I'm not sure I have my colloquy with me on the bench, despite the fact that I have quite a few binders here. I think the one I need is in my office, so stay tuned. Nobody move.
Welcome to Zoom Government.
I think so.
Enter your participant ID. Please enter the meeting code. The meeting has not started.
Oh, yeah.
Please wait or try again later.
Was
You see the clerk of the session.
Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Walsh, if you could stand and raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give in the cause now in hearing shall be the truth, and that you shall give all true answers to all questions as put to you by the court in the cause now in hearing? So help you God.
I do.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
You can be seated. I just didn't, was wondering if you were asking me if I wanted him over on the witness stand. I do not. Mr. Walsh, one important decision that all defendants in every criminal trial need to make is whether or not they're going to testify in a particular case. You have an absolute right to testify at this trial, and your right whether or not to testify is solely your decision. This means that you are not required to take your attorney's advice. I'm sure that your attorneys, Attorney Tipton and Attorney Porges, have told you that if you do testify, the Commonwealth has the right to cross-examine you, that is, the right to ask you questions. If you do not testify, and you and your attorney request me to do so, during my final instructions to the jury in the law on this case tomorrow, I will tell the jury that you, like all persons charged with a crime, have the right not to testify, and that the jurors may not speculate about your decision not to testify. First, I'm going to ask you some preliminary questions. Sir, in the last 24 hours, have you had any alcohol or alcoholic beverages?
No, I have not.
In the last 24 hours, have you taken any prescription medicines?
I have not.
In the last 24 hours, have you consumed any legal or illegal substances?
I have not.
Is your mind clear here today?
It is.
Tell me in your own words, what are we discussing?
Whether I'll testify or not in my trial.
Right? Have you discussed with your attorneys the decision about whether or not to testify in this trial?
I have.
And have you had enough time to discuss your decision with your attorneys?
Yes, I have.
Have your attorneys discussed with you the pros and cons of testifying and not testifying?
Yes, they have.
And do you understand what your attorneys explained to you about your right to testify?
Yes.
Has anyone threatened you or promised you anything to get you to give up your right to testify on your own behalf?
No.
Have you made a decision about whether you wish to testify at this trial?
Yes, I have.
And what is your decision?
I will not testify.
Does any party wish me to ask any further questions before I make my findings?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
I find that the defendant, Brian Walsh, freely, voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently has waived his right to testify at this criminal trial, and that he's done so with the knowledge of its consequences. I accept his decision.
Mr. Foreperson, in the matter of the Commonwealth versus Brian Walsh, Norfolk Superior Court Criminal Indictment Number 2023-0091, as to count 1, wherein the defendant Brian Walsh is charged with murder in the first degree, what say the jury? Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty of what, sir?
Murder in the first degree.
Murder in the first degree, so say you, Mr. Foreperson.
I do.
Guilty of murder in the first degree, so say all deliberating jurors.
I do.
Thank you. If you could hand that back to the court officer, please.
At this time, we'd move to poll the jurors.
The juror may be polled.
Thank you. Juror number 1, juror in seat number 1, as to the verdict of murder in the first degree, is that your verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 2, your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, as to the charge of murder in the first degree, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Mr. Foreperson, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 8, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 9, is that your verdict? Yes. Juror in seat number 10, is that your verdict? Yes. Juror in seat number 13?
Yes.
Is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror in seat number 14, is that your verdict?
Yes.
And last juror, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Your Honor, all jurors answer affirmatively that the guilty of first degree is their verdict.
The verdict may be recorded. Please
Thank
be
you.
seated.
Seated.
So, jurors, I want to thank you for your service on this case. I know that it went a little bit more quickly than we were expecting, but your service has been substantial. We're in the third week of this trial, and I appreciate all you did to be obedient to those rules that I placed on you and for your conscientious service as jurors in this case. I will be back to meet with you privately in a moment. You should feel a weight lifting off of you right now because I'm releasing of you of those requirements. You can talk to anyone about this case or no one at all. You can do whatever research you wish to do about the case or none at all. You can go back on social media if you want, news media, and I'm supposed to release you from that burden of being open-minded. But I hope you always go through your lives with open hearts and open minds, new experiences and new people. I'll be back in just a minute to meet with all of you privately. Thank you very much, jurors.
Jurors exiting, all rise.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Anna Walsh is dead. Anna Walsh is dead because he murdered her and he intended her death. Anna Walsh is not missing. She never walked out of her class at home on January 1st of 2023 between 6 and 7 a.m.
to take an Uber to Logan Airport. She wasn't going to DC for a work emergency. There was no emergency. She didn't say goodbye to her son. That's just a story that the defendant told people. But since January 1st, Anna Walsh has not been seen by her friends, her co-workers, or by the people who loved her. Anna didn't take an Uber. She didn't take a Lyft. She hasn't used her phone. Her phone's had no contact with the Verizon network since January 2nd, 2023, when it was in the vicinity of 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway. She hasn't used her bank accounts, her passports, her credit cards, her email. She didn't vanish. The defendant was the only adult at 516 Chief Justice Cushing Highway after Jim Lulu left around 1:30 a.m. on New Year's Day. And after he left, Anna was home alone with the defendant and their 3 sons, ages 2, 4, and 6. This defendant caused Anna's death, and the evidence does show you that. The evidence shows you that Anna didn't die of natural causes, but that Anna died a violent death in her Cohasset home on January 1st. You have the photos of those pieces of rug recovered from the dumpster at the defendant's mother's complex. The rug that had been in the living room. You have the photo of Anna in the living room on top of the rug. And the photo shows that there are wood floors in that room. There's blood on that rug. The rug was recovered from the compactor outside of the defendant's mother's apartment and taken to the office of the chief medical examiner for examination. And Dr. Atkinson found a blood clot and a piece of Anna's Gucci necklace embedded in one of the cut-up pieces of rug. So look at the piece of metal stamped Gucci. It didn't break on its own. The rest of the necklace is missing. This is the necklace that Will Fatsow said that Anna often wore. Look at the slippers from the dumpster. The 2 pairs of adult slippers. The dark gray slippers have hair and blood clumped to the bottom. And the DNA testing tells you that the slippers had the DNA of Anna Walsh and the DNA of the defendant. Then there's the bathrobe, and there are 2 bloody white towels. A towel was tested and had Anna's DNA. Why did the defendant throw those items out? Because they had Anna's blood on them. And the evidence shows you this because the defendant was researching cleaning. How to clean blood from what floors? Does a dishwasher clean blood? Is it possible to clean DNA off knife? The defendant still had a cut on his thumb on January 9th, 2023. And on January 1st, before he even went to Lowe's to buy any cutting instruments, an initial stop that he made when he left his house was to go to Walgreens to buy antibiotic ointment and Band-Aids. Then he went to Vin and Liquors, where the manager identified the defendant and the defendant threw a bag into the dumpster. Store is closed. The parking lot is empty. He's not yet gone to Lowe's. On January 2nd of 2023, the defendant went to Home Goods because he had to buy a new rug for that living room to cover the hardwood floor. He did this days before the forensic scientists got to the house and knew that the rug had been changed. Anna Walsh dying a sudden death from natural causes defies common sense. She was in great shape. The defendant told police that Anna was a sturdy Serbian woman. Listen carefully to his recorded interviews, because those are his words after her death, after he killed her. Mark Salvaggi told you that Anna had the highest health rating from the life insurance company. Anna had to complete an interview, have blood drawn, provide her medical records, and the life insurance company and the underwriters gave her this health rating. Anna was an active person who took care of her health. Ashley Samino, her bar instructor, told you about this exercise class that she took the morning of December 31st of 2022. And Anna was the type of person, she said, who made others want to work harder in their exercise class. Will Fastel told you that Anna was very active and did yoga together. Sergeant Amy Waterman described Anna's home gym in BC. And Dr. Atkinson told you about the different ways a person can die, and that it's extremely rare for a 39-year-old in good health to suddenly die of unknown causes. But without a body, it's not possible for the medical examiner to tell you the exact cause of Anna Walsh's death. No autopsy can be done. The defendant deliberately got rid of Anna Walsh's body. The defendant did not want anyone to find Anna's body and to know how she died. So the defendant bought cutting tools at Lowe's and Home Depot, and he cut up Anna's body, the woman that he claimed to love, and he threw her into dumpsters. He was hiding her body. The defendant intended to kill Anna Walsh. He didn't just want her dead, he needed her dead. This was a marriage in crisis, and it was heading towards a breaking point. It began with the defendant's federal case. And through the defendant's interview and his federal probation officer, you learned that the defendant was on home confinement. He was going to have to pay over $400,000 in restitution, and the case had been pending since 2018. You also learned that the defendant had no assets. He told Jamulu that he only made $50,000 to $60,000 that year, but he had told the police that he had businesses that were not making any money at all yet. Peter Capozzoli told you that the defendant's mother had signed the lease for the Cohasset home, and it was his mother that was paying his rent. Meanwhile, Anna was beginning to thrive. The marriage was beginning to deteriorate. Anna had her dream job. She had risen to become an executive at Tishman Speyer, and she was making close to $300,000 a year. She earned a bonus. And Teresa Marchese said that Anna was a good employee. And the defendant knew this. He bragged of her bonus and salary. She bought a townhouse, and she furnished that townhouse for her family, and she set up bedrooms for each of her 3 boys. But the reality was, her family couldn't join her because the defendant needed the children with him. Being the primary caregiver allowed him to avoid prison. The separation of the defendant and Anna was taking a toll. Anna wanted the children with her, and Anna began a relationship with Will Fastow, which became more serious. The defendant and Anna were growing apart emotionally and physically. Anna struggled not having her children and not being able to be the mother that she wanted to be. This got worse when Anna took the trip to Serbia to take care of her sick mother. Anna and Will Fastow spent the Thanksgiving holiday first in Dublin before Anna went to Serbia. And Anna bought her plane ticket with the credit card that the defendant monitored. And the defendant told police that he monitored their joint Chase Freedom credit card statement. The MacBook history also shows the defendant looking at the Chase account. The defendant knew about Anna's travel because in a recorded interview, he told the police that she had a layover in Frankfurt, and that connection in Frankfurt is on the same credit card statement. And you can see that, it's right in front of you. The defendant was angry about Anna missing Thanksgiving, and he mentioned it repeatedly when he spoke to investigators.
I got angry about Thanksgiving, and then I realized it was just sad that we're not spending a lot of time together. And she was sad about it too, and it was exhausting for both of us. She was away from the boys, I was always dealing with the boys.
Anna returned from Serbia in December, but she only spent 1 day in Cohasset. And she was supposed to come home for Christmas morning, but she missed her early flight, and she couldn't get a flight, and then she had to drive up. The defendant told police there was an argument.
I did have an argument with her for the Thanksgiving and the Christmas Eve, so I wasn't going to make the same mistake 3 times.
So what did the defendant do on Christmas Day when his wife wasn't home? He looked up Will Fastow on his cell phone, the man his wife had just spent the night with. The defendant was losing Anna. Anna was missing her children and wanted to be them. Anna quickly returned to D.C., and on December 27th, the defendant was looking up the best strategies to divorce for a man and the D.C. divorce laws. This was not to protect assets. That wasn't the search. The defendant told the police that everything was in Anna's name. The defendant had nothing without Anna and the kids. And on December 29th, Anna spoke with Jen Luton and told him that she was upset. Upset about the travel, upset being separated from the children, upset about the defendant's federal case. It was ongoing. It was getting to be too much. On December 29th, Anna went out with Alyssa Curtin, and she broke down. This strong Serbian woman who was supposed to be having a fun night out with a girlfriend, going to dance karaoke, instead broke down. Anna told Alyssa that she had told the defendant that he needed to take responsibility for the federal case, go to prison. She wanted the children with her in D.C., and she and the defendant had not been intimate in close to a year. In Anna's mind, the marriage was broken. Anna even questioned if she could just take the children because she had already established a separate household. She said that she was falling out of love with the defendant. And at home in Cohasset, what was the defendant doing? He was looking up the Mazda building and the FBI raid on the Crossing building. Looking up something that had happened in the spring of 2022 when Anna first started working for Tishman Speyer. Interestingly, this was when the defendant brought up something he brought up in his interviews when he lied about Anna having to leave early for a work emergency. This planning the work emergency. The defendant was going to lose Anna, and when he lost Anna, he would probably lose his freedom. Anna would have a house in D.C. and a nice job, and he would likely go to jail. So the defendant pretended. He lulled Anna into thinking that everything was okay. He joked with her about a Porsche. He didn't want her to realize that he was aware of the relationship with Will or her ability to leave him. He wasn't going to let Anna know that she wasn't safe. On December 31st of 2022, the defendant claimed that he could not find his phone. Why is that important? The mislaid phone allowed the defendant to be unavailable for 2 days. The mislaid phone allowed him to carry out his plan uninterrupted. And the mislaid phone allowed him to show the police when he eventually reports Anna as a missing person and not have the police question why he didn't contact Anna earlier. The evidence shows that the defendant was methodical. Just look at how he shopped at Lowe's with a list. He planned it with precision. So Jem Lulu came over for dinner on New Year's Eve, and the defendant told Jem that his phone was lost and it was free. Anna was texting throughout the night, including with Will Fastow. This is now the third holiday where Anna was concentrating on the other man in her life. When Jem left, Anna was alone. She was with the defendant, the man she was cheating on, the man she was telling to take responsibility for his actions, and the man who had her children. The defendant murdered Anna that morning in their Cohasset home. And this is what the internet history shows. His internet history, written words. He was looking at best way to dispose of a body. Better to throw away crime scene clothes or wash them. Crime scene. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Anna was dead. The defendant killed her, and he began researching how to get her money, how to inherit, how to get away with the crime. And he might have gotten away with it, but he didn't know that his MacBook was syncing with his son's iPad, the same Apple ID. His demeanor changed during the interview on January 8th when the police mentioned the searches on the iPad. Not because the iPad involved his children. He had already involved the children in his lives. But because he knew he was caught. We know he had already involved the 6-year-old when he had the 6-year-old say that he saw his mother when she left the house on the morning of January 1st. The son could not have seen Anna leave the house. The defendant had already killed her. Listen to the recorded interviews. During the January 5th interview, the defendant spoke about what his son supposedly had seen. And the defendant involved the 4-year-old by saying that the 4-year-old hid the defendant's iPhone 13 mini. So, the defendant's phone made a reservation at Nightshade Noodle Bar for New Year's Day, after the defendant told Anna that they were going to have a special party. This is ironic because the defendant was very clear with police on January 7th that he and Anna had no plans for New Year's Day, and the defendant also knew that he would be violating the terms of his federal probation by going to a restaurant on New Year's Day. But let's look closely at Exhibit 170 about the Nightshade Noodle reservation, which was on the defendant's iPhone Mini 13, which the defense just said was deleted. And if you look on page 2, on the bottom of one of the bubbles, you will see that the message was deleted on January 1st at 7:59 and 5 seconds a.m. This happens to be one of the times that the iPhone Mini 13 was unlocked when it was supposed to be missing. The forensics show that the defendant's phone was unlocked 4 times and it was plugged in on January 1st. You heard testimony that the phone had a password of 197512. And in the January 4th recorded interview, you hear the oldest child needed help with his iPad password, which was 121212. The children didn't unlock the defendant's phone. The defendant blamed his misplaced phone on one of his children when he said that the children hid it. But it makes no sense that a 4-year-old somehow unlocked the defendant's phone and deleted that text reminder. Listen to the defendant's recorded interview. The deletion is made when the defendant is supposedly making French toast and playing with the kids. The defendant had access to his phone. Context. The defendant also had access to 2 other phones when his phone was supposedly lost. He had Anna's phone and he had the iPhone SE. And in the recorded interviews, the defendant told police that on New Year's Eve, Anna had an argument with a friend, and as a result, Anna put her phone upstairs in his bedroom.
You said she went and put her phone upstairs after that?
After that, she, let's say it's 10 or 15, then she, I remember her putting her phone upstairs because then she came back down without it.
Was, Thomas came down at one point and hung out with you.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Was this before, during, or after Thomas was participating as well?
Oh, yeah, Thomas went to bed at, he went to bed and then he came over at 9 or 10 or something. I think Anna took a bunch of photos. Jem and I don't have any because she didn't send them to us yet. But I think she sent one to Will Fasto. So that was when, that's when the photo was taken about. So this was maybe 10 o'clock or something like that.
You know where upstairs she put her phone at that point?
Yeah, on her bedstand.
That's not what Jem said. Jem said that Anna was using her phone all night. Melissa Kirby texted with Anna. The defendant was telling investigators a story about Anna's phone. How else do we know that the defendant intended to kill Anna and had a plan for doing so? Look at his internet history. Look at what he did. The defendant set up an area in his basement where he surrounded it with plastic sheeting, wore a tie-back suit, and dismembered his wife, the love of his life. Hacksaw, the best tool for dismembering a body? Then, the defendant got rid of Anna's body. He got rid of her belongings. He got rid of her clothes and bag that he told police that she had, that she supposedly left on January 1st. He threw her in the garbage bags, tossed those garbage bags in different dumpsters, disposing of a body in the trash. Chatham West apartment rental, the Claremont apartment rental. And police confirm this with the location data from the SE phone and the iPhone 13 mini. The evidence shows that the defendant did this to hide the fact that he murdered Anna. He could not let Anna's body be found because Anna didn't die of natural causes. The defendant murdered Anna, and then he had to hide the evidence of his crime. Look at his mindset, look at his internet history. Want to get away with murder? Use a special detergent. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Best way to dispose of body parts after murder. When you deliberate, look through the binder of the MacBook internet history. There are no searches of natural causes of death, sudden death, heart attack, aneurysm, stroke, or how to help your children when someone dies unexpectedly or goes missing. The defendant was not sad. Look at his demeanor in the surveillance videos. He's cool and calculating. He's calm. He had a plan. On January 1st, he went to the Lowe's store an hour away, even though there were hardware stores approximately a mile from his house. And when he was in Lowe's on January 1st, he wore a mask and he wore gloves and he had a list of what he was shopping for. He was calm as he helped bag the purchases. A hacksaw, buckets. He used cash. Does this show confusion, panic, or fear? But he doesn't stop there. He went to CVS to buy hydrogen peroxide. And then he went to Stop and Shop to buy ammonia. No wonder the house was so clean. And on Monday, January 2nd, he went to Home Goods for rugs and candles. And then he went to Home Depot, where he had bought buckets with lids this time, baking soda, and a hatchet. And at some point that day, he got a call from his probation officer. And he lied, and he said that he was picking up his children. He was able to calmly speak with her. No panic. He had everything now that he needed to dismember the woman that he supposedly loved. And he started to take her body and to throw it into dumpsters, because he had to cover up the crime to get rid of the evidence of the murder. This was not a man in crisis. This was a man who on January 4th went to TJ Maxx to buy pants with a store exchange card. He was calm. But Alyssa Kirby texted him on January 4th asking about Anna, and so he called Tishman's Fire a few minutes later and started to pretend to look for her. He called Will Fastel, but he didn't leave a message. He called back later, and then he calmly left a voicemail. No panic. The defendant knew where Anna was. The defendant even texted Anna's sister in Canada and said that she was missing. He was methodical. Look at the text messages. And at 4:30 p.m. on January 4th, the defendant went to Lowe's to buy a trash can. Comfortable. Not panicked. The police were coming to the house soon to talk about Anna. And the defendant had the house ready. The police think his wife is in D.C. He had his phone ready, and he sent text messages to Anna. even though he knew she would never see him. Despite everything that he had done, on January 2nd, the defendant wrote a text message to Anna. I still love you. Ha ha. His joke. The defendant prevented anyone from ever finding Anna's body. There was no autopsy. Dr. Atkinson told you that the medical examiner can do an autopsy without a body, and all that remains of Anna are a few hairs, some blood, and a few things that belong there. A part of a necklace she often wore, her hunter boots, a black jacket, a purse, her COVID card, and a few other items in the dumpster in his mother's apartment complex. The defendant searched his MacBook for a murder conviction without a body. Please do not allow the defendant's self-serving act of dismembering and disposing of Anna's body to let him get away with this murder. At the start of this trial, we asked you to use your common sense. When you do that, when you analyze the evidence as you deliberate and continue to use your common sense, you will see that the evidence shows there is only one verdict. Find the defendant is guilty of the premeditated first-degree murder of Anna Walshe. Thank you.